Happy to Be Here is brought to you in sponsorship with Delicious Hamburgers. Did you know Delicious Hamburgers and Fries are the freshest in Spokane? That's a fact. Delicious Hamburgers have never been frozen, and that's because it tastes better that way. Think about it. There's not even a freezer in the restaurant. What? Delicious fries are always made to order and never sit under a heat lamp. When you order them, they cook them, you eat them. That's how it works. It's differences like this that you can truly taste. Next time you're craving the freshest hamburger and fries, head to the corner of Augusta and Division and ask for the Happy to Be Here combo, okay? You're gonna wanna get that. A delicious double hamburger with grilled onions, pickles, and a special sauce, baby. It also comes with fries and your choice of a milkshake. That's what makes us unique. F your Sprite. Delicious, taste the difference. What is up, people? Wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. There are no redos here. Listen, I just wrapped up an amazing podcast with Kat Vandergriff. Okay, Kat, she owns a company called Philm right here. You can order the magazine, the booklet, the yearbook, whatever you want to call it. It's a beautiful thing, okay? You can order this. Beautiful photography, all sorts of photographers, models, artists, top on the front, right there. Brennon was over here. He was fucking helping me out with the podcast. Thank you so much. Throw a hand in there and check out this episode. I think that you'll have fun listening to it and getting to know Kat and just a little bit about all of us, really. All right, guys. Peace.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
I challenge everybody that listens to this to get out of your shell and go do something new and fun.
Happy to be here.
Like they just slow motion.
Do you see Zach trying to pretend like he doesn't watch cake sitting videos?
Happy to be here.
There to exorcise the
Wait,
demons.
so your swan man is
Our,
an exorcist?
our Schwan delivery man that brought us bomb pops and chicken nuggets is there to perform an exorcism.
This needs to be made into a short
You
film.
couldn't make this shit up.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is ExZac Change, and I'm happy to be here today with my friend, Brennan Pointer.
Hello.
And my guest, Katherine Vandergriff. Or better known as Kat.
Yeah,
Yes, how you doing, Kat?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Yeah, you made it. And
Yeah, it was a journey.
Had to get on that I-90, huh?
Yeah, well, it was like 15 minutes of a crash,
Mm.
and then I have really bad time blindness, so I'm like, I have nothing going on today. And then I look at my calendar and I'm like, I got 30 minutes to get there.
well, you know, it doesn't really matter, honestly, because we're here. And that's all. You made it,
I did.
you know. And I hope everybody's okay in the crash. You know, it sucks. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be this way. God.
No, you're
Just trying to
you're good. You're good.
back. Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about what you do. Photographer, editor. What do you do? What do you love, Kat?
I do all kinds of things. Being that I have ADHD, I have so many hobbies that I just made them into one. So because I was a photographer, I was like, okay, yearbook kid, let's make a magazine.
So when did it start? Like in your childhood, when you really got interested in a camera?
I was more of like an art kid. So like, I don't know. I took a bunch of art classes in like middle school, high school, and then I took a yearbook my sophomore year of high school, and then I was like, wow, this is really cool, because I liked writing initially. Now I'm a terrible writer, and I only take photos, so mostly like my sophomore year of high school, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Okay. And was it just like taking photos that you really kind of fell in love with, or was it like, yearbook, putting things together in a certain way, like the art of it?
I think just like initially it was just like all photos. I really liked doing the sports. I was like, events are pretty rad. And that's why I like concert stuff now, I think. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's like something that you've been doing since the beginning was like concert type stuff.
yeah.
But that's not your like forte now.
What do you mean?
Like, is that something that do you shoot a lot of concerts now?
I would like to.
Okay.
I mostly do just like editorial, like portrait work. But I do like events and concerts because I really love those.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ton of fun when we did the Good Growth, and that's when I first heard of you, and I was like, oh, cool. And then like when we saw the photos and stuff, it was just really, really cool work. And then I was surprised to have heard that you hadn't done more concerts. I was like, wow, these are great.
Yeah.
So
I like kind of like the candid behind the scenes kind of stuff. So like if I were to be on like I don't know, say like a short film set, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I will. So it's funny. I didn't really interview you. We had me and Derek, Jinx Universe. We met with Kat and Jacob. Is it Jacob, right? About shooting Good Growth, and I remember you saying like, I haven't done too much like concerts or shows, but I've done a lot of action for like sports photography, and I have to say like the shots for Good Growth were just amazing. Like it's really, really good work. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't ever like questioning, but I was always just like, cause Derek was always like, I stand by Kat. Like she is breaking through in the scene here in Spokane. She has an eye and she's going to be like, she's going to be a big name. And you killed it for Good Growth. So
Thanks.
Yeah, Hector said, Zeroni, he said, young prodigy. She's a young prodigy. That's what he said. So I thought that was pretty cool because I've always followed his work. And this is just very unique. When did you get like the idea to take it from just taking photos to like putting something physical in people's hands?
So like, what was it? 2020? So have either of you heard of Course Collective at all?
yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
I made that, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was basically like a group chat on Instagram that like blew up and like was full of people, and everybody was like, I want to add more people, but we can't. So we made a Discord, and it was basically just a collective of like photographers, models, singers, like a bunch of people to just talk to each other.
Yeah.
And, like, meet people in the area that do art.
That's cool.
And so I was like, okay, like this is pretty cool. And then eventually I made a magazine that was kind of like a yearbook format. And I like featured like, I think 2 people per category. There were like 2 models each month, 2 small business owners, 2 of pretty much anything you can think of. Like 2 musicians and like all that. And so I was like, okay, let's go further and like really make something that's like photography based, which is more my niche. And so I made Philm.
Dude, that is fucking sick. So Philm right here. Okay. This is fucking badass, honestly. And so are you from Spokane or are you from Idaho?
I'm actually from New Mexico.
Oh, whoa. Okay, tell me about it.
I'm from the South. So actually I grew up in New Mexico, Albuquerque actually, until I was like 2 to 10 years old. And that's like, it was a very artsy scene. And so that had a lot of influence. But I moved here when I was 11. And so basically from Idaho, but I think New Mexico has a lot to do with it.
And then so Spokane, obviously, just like a bigger city, so more opportunities, I'm sure, coming over here, right? Do you see like I'm very interested in kind of just like the upcoming photography and model like scene. Like, is it like, I'm just interested in it. Is like, how would you describe it in like the Pacific Northwest? I know that you were like, you left New Mexico when you were 10, so it wasn't like
I was super young.
But you know, how would you really describe like the upcoming like photography, model, like creative scene like in this area?
It's definitely growing a lot. I think Seattle has a lot to do with how it's grown because a lot of people are either traveling to work here or, I don't know, it's just spreading somehow. And I think a lot of it's Oregon and Seattle, and it's coming to Spokane.
It might be just fucking expensive as shit there, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Yo, we need to get."
We're out.
And then they come here, and then they're like, "You guys don't do art? Like
Yeah,
you guys aren't
pretty
doing this and
much.
that? Like shit. All right,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense." So, because it feels like there's like a lot of opportunity here, but do you think that like to grow, you got to get to like a bigger city, or do you think that it's just constantly like enough is here?
I mean, I like to travel a lot, so I go to New Mexico like at least once or twice a year to visit family and do jobs. So, two, I think like after the pandemic and everybody was like cooped up in their house, like the internet has really like made things a lot more accessible
Mm-hmm.
to
Definitely.
do work from home because I completely work from home. So
Yeah, I was gonna say like the globalization of like art is like, I feel like it, like where you're at, like especially for photographers, like you can be anywhere, and a lot of photographers, like you said, like you travel, so you can be based somewhere, but like you can be global just because of the quality of your work.
yeah.
Like, and I think that's what really matters for like, I think it really matters for like the younger generation. And like, I don't want to say like, I don't want to be like the older generations don't care about that as much, but like, I think the younger generations just, they don't have bounds of like cities and stuff like that. Like, it's like their bounds are fucking Instagram, TikTok, you know, like you can be famous no matter where you're at. But that, I think our older generation think of it as like, it has to be coming from like your city. But like, I think your work shows for itself. Like you, just because you're in Post Falls doesn't mean you're a Post Falls photographer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's been able to put something in my hand like this. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's
There's a
really
lot
cool.
of people in Spokane that have just shot photography for a long time that I've followed their journeys and stuff like that. But being able to like this is cool. Like I want to have, like, I'm gonna like cherish this. So that like you just don't get to do that with like a Instagram post. You just
that's true.
kind of admire it for a minute, and then you're like, you double tap it and you move on. But like when you have something
I
that
like
you're like,
physical copies of stuff. Yeah.
you can hold it. Like this
And
is
it's cool for everybody because they all can just like put something in and it's like, wow, I made this. And it's like accomplishing, or what is the word? It's an accomplishment.
So when did you print? This is volume 4. When did you print the first volume? Like how long ago was that?
December. I do it monthly.
Dude, so, and this is the first, like volume 1, that was just like the first magazine that you did.
I did the Course Collective one
Okay.
back in 2020. And I started that one in like October of 21.
But as far as film, when was film born?
It's in my grandparents' living room.
Oh,
I randomly, well, it started with Cat's Film because that was my photography account, and then I eventually just wanted to like branch off and include other photographers and models. So I was like sitting, I was like, what should my Instagram be? And I like kept like putting a bunch of like words together, and I was like, okay, film sounds cool, like because it's like photography and film.
I loved it.
Digital
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I loved it. So I see, like, you know, so tell me a little bit more about how you structure this, because I know that you like you're saying you have other photographers, models, and like how you were doing it before, you were kind of doing it like you said, 2 musicians, 2 business, and you kind of had it. Is it kind of similar like that on how you like select? You got a musician here on the cover. Like how do you go about getting in touch with these people?
So, Top actually reached out to me, and he was like, I want a cover. And I was like, all right, send it over. Like, I want to see what you got. Like, and it was actually really cool. I think I like talked to him briefly like before that, but a lot of the time it's just like people want to be in it. And so, I mean, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
So they reach out to you though,
Usually,
basically.
yeah.
But because I saw you do like the submissions too.
Mm-hmm.
So was that something that you just did from the very beginning? Like you would just have people submit and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I reach out to people too. But I think the bigger it gets, the more people want to be included in it.
So you kind of can curate a little bit and just be like people that you fuck with. You're like, all
Yeah,
right,
it's,
like
it's
I want
fun.
you to.
Like there's a lot of people in there that I've met that I have like gotten close with, like Zeroni, and like he usually has like one in each of them usually because he's kind of been my mentor. So
That's fucking cool.
credits to Zeroni.
And so how did you meet him?
He reached out to me actually, and he was like, "I want to do a shoot with you," and I thought he meant like shoot together, but like he took photos of me, and I was like, "Oh, what am I doing right now?" I was like completely thrown off, but it was actually really fun, and like I hate being in front of the camera, but he was like fun to shoot with, so
Dude, that's
we just
awesome.
became friends.
Why do you hate being in front of the camera?
I hate it. I just do not take pictures. Anytime I like go to meetups, they're like, all right, like let us know, like, are you a model or a photographer? I'm like, do not take photos of me. Oh my God. Like, please don't. I hate it.
Yeah, it's just like that feeling. I know a lot of people have like just even a on camera, just like
Yeah. Like even this is like a lot. I'm like, hey.
just forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. Your meetups. So you organize meetups, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
And I feel like recently I signed up for a meetup that I didn't go to. Like I paid for something, and I was like, I thought it was maybe a release party. I just totally forgot about it. I spaced it, didn't show up. And then I saw the pictures from it afterwards. And are these like meetups where you get other photographers? Is it like a networking event for photographers?
Yeah, so it was mostly photographers and models and people that are just wanting in the industry.
Gotcha.
Or are like kind of breaking through it or are professional. It's just anybody.
Yeah.
But there's other people that usually go, like musicians, because musicians are easy people to take photos of. Like they're okay with being in front of a camera, and that's why like top is like cover material, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're easy to shoot with.
Yeah.
Dude, those
But anybody can
pictures,
go.
and that Kay Gonzalez shot those pictures,
good.
and fucking that, so good.
I know.
That one where he's like spinning, like that shit is fucking wild. Is that in here? Right there,
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
first one. That's. Told you, I'm gonna cherish this shit. This shit's fire. And we got Top on. He's our next guest after you. So
That's
yeah, it just works out perfect.
each film. Are they magazines? Or are they issues? Or what do you call them?
What do you mean?
Is it a magazine? Like, what do you call like each issue? Like, is it
They're like a book.
a book?
kind
Okay,
of.
okay.
Like I call them like photo books, like meshed with a magazine, because they're all just photos.
This
Yeah.
is a
really.
magazine, and I was just like, "Wait, is this a magazine? I don't
Yeah.
know." Yeah.
But it's like it's all photos. I was gonna kind of like right now I'm working on like maybe having like all comics and art for some stuff. Like I want to integrate more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not as much into that scene, so it's like kind of more of like I gotta do the outreach to find that.
Yeah.
I want to expand in that way.
Start a podcast.
But each one of them is right. Each one of them has its own theme. Like like when you're asking for submissions, like you're asking for like the last one I saw was the red issue, and then but before that was black and white, and this was obviously blue. So like each one has like its own theme. Like you're trying to go for a certain aesthetic, right?
Like this one was just like a general one. I didn't really do themes necessarily for the first four, but now I'm doing the themes because I'm getting enough submissions to make themes. So now I'm doing like the blue edition is like halfway done. So
Interesting.
And so the blue edition, this just means like if you have photos that are just in a blue
lighting, like backgrounds, if it takes up like say 60 to 70% of the photo, then it's considered like a blue photo. Like that would be a blue photo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw the red. It was like with the fucking like it was like the movie theater seats with like the hands and shit. You shot that?
No, that was who was that? The model was Alexia.
That was fucking
Palafox.
just trippy. I was just like, this is fucking cool,
Think-
man.
Oh, Amanda Keeley took those.
Oh, okay.
Her handle is Dreamily Portraits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was I love the creativity and especially like breaking it out through colors and stuff just makes it more like unique and creative. I really like that.
Yeah.
So like, do you dabble obviously in so many different types of photography? Like what do you do? Like you work full-time photography?
Yeah.
So like what kind of work do you do as far as like what the extent is of what you shoot? Like you shoot like obviously portraits, but then is like landscape or like what kind of things are people commissioning you to do?
Usually I think I attract a lot of the people that are like really trying to get into the modeling industry. So a lot of the time it's people wanting to do stuff that's out of the box. So, which is kind of hard to find sometimes, but once you find your niche, you usually continue to attract them. But I mean, it's mostly like editorial, like weird work. So
That's awesome. I think the weirder the better.
that's what I do.
Yeah, so many people take themselves way too serious. So I feel like just being silly and coming up with crazy, out of the box.
Yeah. What do you think drives that? Are these models or people who are trying to break through the industry, like, is it just their way of creating content for social media? Is that like their main purpose, or is it for like sending to agencies? Like,
It's like a mix of both.
Yeah.
I'd say.
But what do you think? What drives it though? Like, is it like people just want to like? This was not. So I'm gonna age myself here, but I'm 38 years old. So like 20 years ago, like internet, social media didn't exist. So like no one was breaking through as a model in Spokane, like by posting on social media. So like, is it social media that drives it? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. Like, is that like,
Or do you like send your headshots in a manila envelope to LA or somebody and you're just like I don't know either. It's honestly just like a crazy time on in a very like saturated market in all things, whether it's music or modeling. And then that's why I'm very curious if you need to be like do you have to position yourself into like a bigger city, or is it like something that you can like work from home and really be able to do from anywhere and be able to, because I know you said that you go down to New Mexico and you do work down there. So I'm just kind of assuming that you do like a vast kind of different, like, so outside of like even models, do you do any kind of landscape type stuff, or like really would just be like shows and events, things like that?
It's mostly what I do. I mean, I've dabbled in kind of everything to just try it. Like even like boudoir. I don't do a ton of it, but I've done like that to like kind of get out of my zone. Or like weddings. I actually did my first wedding like last summer.
Oh, weddings. That's one that's obvious.
Yeah, and I feel like every photographer should do at least one wedding. So
what is it? Do you like it? Do you not like is it just kind of, does sometimes some of these shoots become just like it's just work and there's not a lot of like joy in it? You just got to get it done and something like that, or like is shooting a wedding fun?
it's not too bad. I mean, all the weddings that I have done, I've really enjoyed because they have allowed me to be creative, and they like that I took like candid stuff. And I've only heard good things, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. So
How old are you?
20.
20 years old. So, I mean, you've literally been like shooting with a camera for
4 or 5 years.
Wow. When you're young, it's not that much time. It's just so like you have so much time.
I'll be 21 in a month, though.
Oh,
Yay, so exciting.
that's
So
awesome.
old.
no, not old. No, not old. So much time. So much time. It's a beautiful thing, honestly. And I'm glad that Hector is your your mentor, because I think that you got to have good people around you to help guide you, right? Because you have a lot, like you said, you have ADHD, right? So talk about that a little bit, right? Like it's like you got all this energy. You're like, where am I going to put it? And then we have things like this, like music, whatever your thing is. Like we need an outlet.
Yeah.
Like
I hyperfixate on that at 2 a.m. sometimes. And I'm like, my eyes are like burning, and I'm like, what am I doing? Go
Yeah.
to bed.
Yeah, sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know.
Still cool
okay.
though.
Yeah, we obsess over things sometimes. I'm the same way.
When you did the first issue of Philm, like, were you just getting people that you knew locally or people that you knew like through Instagram, like mostly? And like, how much has it grown from issue 1 to like the issue you're at now? Because it sounds like it's grown a lot.
There's like a good mix of people in there. There's like people that are in Texas, New York. There's somebody from England that's been in it a few times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these aren't just local people.
No, I mean, the majority of it is, but I am like trying to expand to other areas because I like styles of different areas. Like an LA magazine is going to look completely different from a New York magazine. And I like all the styles in one, basically.
Well, I think that like when you take all these inspirations and all these things that like influence you and that you love, and then you kind of like put it into your own style. So, you know, that's what's kind of cool is that you have like a vision from like what you're inspired by, regardless if it's like LA, New York, New Mexico, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, melted into this, and then anybody that like picks this up. You ship these out to people?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like that's like, you know, that's something that can really, you know, this is just like a part of like you know what I mean? Because you curated a lot of this stuff. Like you handpicked what you liked. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just geeking out on it because I think, is that me?
It's not me. This is a no-no for podcast, Zach. You broke a rule.
I know. Mine went off and I panicked when mine went off. You didn't hear that?
I panicked low key too. My mom wanted to FaceTime my son. That's what it is. My mom's favorite. Can we FaceTime today? Yeah. That's my mom's favorite thing. She loves it. That's
awesome.
You know, grandkids.
Like, what is your like? Okay, I mean, you've been printing this once a month. I didn't realize it was coming out once a month. That's nuts that you're doing
I
it.
didn't
I'm a
know that.
psychopath.
Were you like printing and binding them? Is it like through like an internet service? Or are you doing it locally?
I do it online.
Oh, nice.
I just found a place that I liked online, and I was like, all right, here we go.
But the question I have with it is like, what are your dreams with it? Like, do you want to like have it be a newsstand? Like, not like I remember going to Barnes and Noble when I was when I was young in the doing graphic design, and like I would go to Barnes and Noble and I would find the art magazines, like the photography magazines, and just like sit in Barnes and Noble and just read through them and just look at all the different designs and different like things. Like, is that your hopes and dreams for this?
I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't even know.
You're just doing
I'm just
it.
like, this is fun. I'll do it. It's an outlet. I mean, it would be cool to make it bigger and kind of more community based. I did at one point want to have my own like studio somewhere and just like have like something where like you could even do like this.
Yeah.
Like where you just have like spaces for podcasts, you know, like a photo studio, just like all kinds of different stuff that you can do.
Yeah, who doesn't want like a fucking Rob Deerdeck fucking like,
Yeah.
you know, just be able to like build a fucking fortress with like everything that you could
Yeah.
possibly want, you know?
Like art studio, everything, like that would be so cool.
Like skate, you know, I feel like that's like a big, you know, there's so many different communities in Spokane, which is pretty cool, which is like why, you know, I wanted to have you on. This is like, you know, you're a part of a community doing cool artistic shit. And then you got comedians and skateboarders and musicians and models and podcasters. It's kind of fucking trippy, dude, because, you know, when we all work together, that's when I feel like there's a lot more success. And maybe that's where Spokane has struggled in the past, is that a lot of people, you know, they're all doing this shit, but everybody trying to like do their own thing, when it's like, when we all just come together.
Yeah. I mean, you could totally just do like a collective. Like, you mean, you people that come to your get-togethers, like right there alone, like if you got 20 people to be like, I want to have a monthly subscription to like a collective where you have a space, you have different ways to change out like the scenery. Like there's no reason like you couldn't do that. That's like, yeah, that would be so cool. like it
Have you ever thought about doing a monthly? Like, are you, so is this like, do you like do it every month? Like that's like the set plan, the expectation that you set to people as that there will be a new one every month.
Yeah.
Man, because I honestly would subscribe so that way you could just send it every month. Just send it. I don't, you know.
I've considered that. The only thing is I'm the only one that like edits it. So for any reason, I like become sick or who knows what. But like, if I cannot guarantee that I can get one out, that scares me.
So that's why it's nice. Yeah. Because, man, I'm geeking. This is fucking sick, dude. I've never like seen anybody, even when I lived in Seattle too. Nobody. I mean, I'm sure there were people doing shit, but I love that there's this like interview too with Top. So it's not all just pictures. You actually got some. There's some little interview in there. Is that the only one? It's just with him. See, I love it. It's like it's like exclusive. You know, like this is like a big deal. And listen, I mean, Top is just an amazing artist too, and doing amazing shit right now. So this all just kind of ties up with you also just picking good people. You know. Yeah. Like so, yeah. I think that is the curation part of it fun for you? Like
I think that's mostly it, because it's like I can make it like on the first one I put half of it as my work. Like I only put the first half with my work, which was like 40 pages, and then that kind of set the tone for the rest of it, because then it's all mixed in with my work. Like I'll have a few photos in there here and there, and it matches perfectly together.
Yeah, but your goal is just to put together to utilize everybody in a community type thing, because you're putting other people on too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm just like, who did this photo? You do that photo? No, this person did that photo. Boom, now I'm following that person. Yeah. Like, that's the idea, right? Like, everybody can really, and, but then you also, like, you're curating even just good, you're creating a good experience for me. When I buy this and I get to go enjoy this later, it's like an album when somebody records an album, and it's like, it's meant to be listened to from the beginning to the end. That's why I was like, I don't want to flip through it too much, because I want to, I know there's like a rhyme or reason or not, but I want to experience it, kind of front to back. Like that's how it is with an artist. Like you create an album and it's meant, like we put these songs in this order for a reason. We didn't just say these were the songs. We just shuffled it in some type of app and said, this is it. Like everything is, that curation and the people that you picked and the shots that you picked and the style and how it blends and how it flows is intentional. Yeah. And that's cool.
That's cool.
That's the art right there. That's the shit that AI can't do. Okay. That's the human brain right there.
That's a good question. What do you think about AI and like the AI apps where you can get like photo realistic images of people? I know a local marketer who was like marketing herself as selling AI generated images for brands. Like what's your opinion on that?
To be honest, I don't know that much about AI.
Oh,
I really don't.
Yeah.
I know that it's just like computer generated shit, like where it's just kind of, I don't know. It just puts a bunch of like images from the internet, right? And then puts it together into something else.
It's like an amalgamation. Like you can tell, like you can say like, I want a photo. So for example, I did one for,
I wish we could play that.
Yeah. We play a game on this, on some of our squadcasts where we like have images, where we like tell it to make an image of something and it will make it for you. The other day I was like being really specific about something. I was like, I want an image of 3 white guys sitting around a podcasting table talking about the Seattle Mariners while drinking beers. And so I wrote all this in, and then it popped out an image of what I was looking for. And it's like, and it gave me everything I wanted, but it looks kind of just really weird. Like it's like the people don't look normal. They look like they have, like, they just look funky. And
That's the beauty
but like,
of it.
but if you get even more descriptive, like you can tell it to.
Oh, if you give him like the hair, if
You can
gave
tell.
him
You
the
can
features,
give it a lot of description, and you can even tell it to do it in the style of a certain
looks
type
like
of
Brad
artist.
Pitt.
Like yeah, you can
you could just give it anything. And
give it
then all of a
anything, and it will like it will make something for you. But like
sudden, trippy.
it is one of these things where like a lot of photographers and even artists, designers are, they're, I wouldn't say they're losing work, but they're definitely like, it's becoming a thing where like it could.
Where is it growing?
Take
Where
over their
it could
job.
take over someone's job.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. I honestly don't. I don't know. I've seen like, what was it? Like people taking like Wes Anderson movies and then like
Yes.
making them like look like something else, like a
They-
Coraline made into Wes Anderson or
Yeah.
something like that. And I mean, that is kind of scary.
Yeah, they did it.
Because-
They did it for Batman. They did it like a Wes Anderson, like a Batman movie, but directed by Wes Anderson. And so it gives you gave a bunch of like images from like what a Wes Anderson Batman movie would look like. And it was like, oh, this is pretty accurate.
But it's like, I wonder like where the copyright comes in. where it's,
Yeah,
like, the
that's
laws.
a good question.
That's what I get curious about.
Yeah, there are a lot of AIs that like they have standards, like, and they don't pull from copyrighted materials. The local designer who does it, she pulls from all like source stuff that's like available on the internet for free. And so like there are different parameters that you can put in or different apps. But it is interesting to think about because like there's even AI. I mean, I imagine there's even AI that like you can put in a photo that you want, and then you can say, I want it to have this type of filter. I want it to like have all these different features that I want my photos to look like. And then you could just set it to like, I mean, a lot like what Lightroom, like Adobe Lightroom does, like, but it's in an AI generator. So like, there's so many different AI is just really weird.
scared,
We could do a
man.
whole episode of AI.
I'm scared. I did, like I said, I've that Chat GPT. I was like, so we had like a show that we're like, wanting to plan, and I was like, okay, this is the capacity. We're trying to sell it out. This is who the artists are. Like we put into Chat GPT exactly who we were, what we were trying to do, and it literally came out with a full business plan of exactly how to sell the show out with like email marketing, social media marketing, collaborating with the venue, finding your target audience. Like, it's like holy shit. Like, so I see where it can be like super useful and how we can be smart and use it. And then I can also see where it's like, people are like, oh, well, I'll just create this trippy fucking image with this, and I don't need to pay an artist now.
Yeah.
But then, how bastardized does that get until people are just like, I need a real person, dude.
Yeah.
I need somebody to create something real, because
How smart does it get that you don't ever need a real person? I think that's the scary part of it. Who are your like influences? Like who do you love that's like doing the type of work that you're doing?
I mean, I would say like Pinterest. I know that sounds terrible, but like everybody makes fun of like Pinterest tattoos. I feel like it's the same thing like with photography, but there's like a really cool like algorithm that Pinterest has that like curates my exact vision for stuff. Like it makes mood boards really easy.
really, that is not what I was expecting you to say.
I know. I could be like, I love Bella Hadid. Like,
Right. I was gonna say like what model? Like
No, I like
who do you
the-
want to shoot? Like
but
that.
I do love Bella Hadid.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
like-
But the realness, I like. So
Yeah.
like that's where you find a lot of like inspiration.
yeah.
I love that.
So it's just like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a like unique algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess if you use Pinterest, you know what I'm talking about. But
Oh, I use it for recipes. That's my favorite thing.
But
For
you
recipes?
Oh, for
understand.
recipes, dude. Recipes, man. Come
But like
on.
it's like TikTok's algorithm. Like it's really smart like
Yeah.
that. Like it can make like it shows you similar photos
Mm-hmm.
and then it just continues to show you photos that are more and more similar, and then it just makes mood boards so easy. It's like everything that I see, I'm like, I like all of this.
Yeah.
And so
I love that. So, like, what when you were it really was like yearbook class kind of was like what got you into that, like the vision of something like this.
Yeah.
But it was like, was there anything else that kind of inspired you a little bit younger when you were like looking at magazines or like stuff like that that kind of made you like intrigued to even want to be a part of yearbook, or like what made you even want to go that direction? I know I'm just asking you complex questions right now. I don't mean to get too deep. I'm just
thinking like, cause actually I feel like my life has been split up into like two lives. It's really weird. I used to be a ballerina. Like,
Oh,
what?
wow. Like, I used to be a dancer from like the ages of like 6 years old to I think 14 or 15, and then I
Damn.
quit because I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I ended up doing yearbook. So I kind of was like, I want to be a model. Actually, I want to be a ballerina. I want to do all this. So I think like being in that kind of scene, like I like got to know dancers, and like dancers are also really good people to take as models. And so I feel like that at least had some influence.
Oh, I love that. See, look at this. We just figuring out you. So why couldn't you do it anymore?
I was just kind of over it. It was really beaten down on my body because I was a point dancer.
Oh.
And that's where like your toes are literally like on the concrete. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I just like had messed up like hips and knees, and I was like, I feel like an old
So it's
man.
really hard on your body like that?
Yeah, if you're short like I am.
oh,
What does
really?
the height got to do with anything?
Your muscles are just shorter and tighter.
Oh,
So
damn.
when you have like really short legs, you have to work harder to like extend your leg and like
Oh, because you're on one toe.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Because you see like tall ballerinas all the time because it's just natural to them. They can like fling it as high as they want and it doesn't affect them.
And they're skinny as hell, and
Yeah.
like, and I could
always-
totally see it.
That's trip. Nah, man.
That's funny. I used to love the movie. Have you ever seen the movie Center Stage? Oh god, it's a movie about ballerinas in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe I have. I don't know.
It's like from like it's. I mean, it's from like 2001.
Oh god, I thought you were gonna say it's from the 50s.
No,
or
it's
something.
like-
I was expecting to go way back.
Anyways,
2001.
Mike's gonna totally make this a clip now. He's gonna like,
Especially now that you said that.
especially now that I said that.
Anytime you say it, he'll get you. So I am curious because your partner, Jacob Hinckley, right? Also a creative, also kind of in a similar medium as what you do. How does that like? Do you guys work on things together creatively? Like, I'm just very curious on, just how you guys are creative together, or if you kind of just do your own thing.
Well, he does mostly video, and actually I think he was also an influence on me because we like became friends in high school, and I remember he took me to where he used to work, and he was the videographer there, and we did like a video together, and then I was like, wow, this is really cool. Now I want to do video. And then I don't know, we just kind of intermingled like both of our hobbies. I kind of got more into photography though after he graduated, and I was more doing my own thing.
Well, I'm just curious too, just like even at the like, are you guys like when you're thinking creatively, are you like plotting on things separately, or are you guys like coming together too and wanting to like do things together? Or I'm just curious if because just how it is for like two creatives to be together, because I know like that energy, like my girlfriend's not a creative. So it's like, I'm just creating and she's just like, whoa, this is cool. And, and she has like that kind of different perspective. But when there's two creatives, I'm just curious, especially in a similar medium. I know he does video, killed good growth. Also,
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Great. Just beautiful. Everybody talked to you guys. I had no idea who you guys were. And now I was just like, wow, this is great. This is just awesome people, awesome work. But
And he only started freelancing like last summer. So.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah, he like full sent it last summer. I told him to. I was like, you gotta quit Home Depot, bro. Like,
Dude, that is
That's
fucking...
the best advice he probably ever got, because that's the best advice I ever got, is this going full send.
Yeah, and
you have to.
that's a good... See, it's good that you guys are like, that's very good of you too, to just, see something in somebody and be like, you're fucking good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people like us will pay for shit like that, because that was... Yeah, it's cool to meet people that have a vision, but yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of curious about that and like the dynamic of that, but
Yeah, what was it like to work on Good Growth together? Like, I know, like, it wasn't directly like the same. Like, I don't think you guys had the same, like, it all looks the same, because it's like we put together a vision of what the show is going to look like, and you guys captured it. But like, was there any like of working together, like talking about how to shoot it?
Not really. It's kind of weird. Like, we just kind of like are in each other's space, and sometimes like I'll see a shot that he should get, and I'm like, hey, you should get that. Like, and that's pretty much the extent of it. We're both kind of stubborn and hard-headed, and we'll do our own thing, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like we work really well together. Like, we did a couple of weddings together, and
I was gonna say like that, like a fucking like a duo of someone who does photography and someone does video together. Like, I have a friend who just shoots video. He just does the video aspect of doing a wedding, and so he is not the photographer. But like you two, like, I mean, that's like a killer combo.
just being able to bounce things off each other, like you said,
Yeah.
like get that, like, just being able to assist each other, I feel like is such an advantage. I mean, weddings is definitely one of those things where it's like, any of those things shows, right? Anything like that where
It can be anything.
where you need both. You need a photographer and you need a videographer. Like, I would hire you guys 10 out of 10 times, because just knowing the communication between the two people. Because if you could hire two separate people to do two separate things, but when you hire two people that like know each other and kind of have a vision, because that's why I like to have a co-host even on a podcast. He's thinking about shit I'm not thinking about, right? You're seeing things Jacob's not seeing. He's seeing things you're not seeing. And that dynamic right there gives us like a wider scope to achieve what we're trying to do.
yeah.
I don't think there was a
Just rant. It's all good.
Yep. Models. Who would you want to shoot? I want to know that. Like, is there anyone that you would love to shoot?
Like in the area?
Like, no, like all time, like
In the
world. Like, I see a lot of like, so Sydney Sweeney's from Spokane. Like,
Yeah.
like I feel like, and she does a lot of model work and a lot of shooting. Like, she's very active on Instagram with all of her modeling stuff. But like, I just feel like there's like, yeah, locally, these are people that you like say, put it in the ether. Like, that's always like how, like, whenever I say like I want to interview this person, I can usually make that happen if I just put it in the ether.
I mean, there's nobody in particular, but bringing up Sydney Sweeney, like, it made me think of Euphoria.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty cool to be like on a set like that.
Yeah.
And, like, taking photos behind the scenes of people like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I like A24, so
Oh,
I
love
love
A24.
A24.
Yeah, that's us too. Same.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's a certain really, honestly, when I see A24, it's like a certain reputation too. So I'm like, I just know, like, ooh, I want to watch this.
It makes you think.
Yeah.
Everything they put out makes you think. Like, I just saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I loved it.
That was A24?
Yeah. Very much.
I mean, I love that movie. I saw
Doesn't
one,
it make sense? though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say like you want to do behind the scenes photography. Like, you want to be on a movie set doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do that then.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like, I'm gonna be real with you. I got social anxiety, so like being able to just kind of be in my zone and be able to just take behind the scenes where I can just like spot something.
Yeah.
Because I like to take photos where it's like the foreground is like shadows of people, and then you kind of see like a focus of one subject. Like, I can hide behind people and take those easily, and I don't have to talk to anyone, and I can like hide off in
Those
another corner.
candids, yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Dive a little bit deeper into the social anxiety. So tell me about like, I mean, what was it like even just like coming to a podcast? Like, was there like a little bit of just like fucking, you know?
I take enough medication.
Because I always get a little, like, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't met this person yet. I'm just like, oh, because I feel like I have social anxiety, but I also don't know if I'm just throwing around words that I'm just like, is it that severe? I don't know. I get fucking nervous before I go be social with people. Isn't that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, I used to have so I will say, like, as someone who has gone from having really bad social anxiety when I go to events to now going to events and not really having it anymore. It's just more about like, it's that feeling of just not giving. I just like, I don't care anymore. Like, and it's meeting people and knowing that like a famous person is just a person just like you. Like they have the same anxieties and the same problems that you have. They're just different.
Fucking
and
famous person. I get fucking anxiety just meeting a fucking regular
Well, I mean,
person. I ain't seen you in a while, man.
I think maybe just like meeting people over the last like 3 years has just made my life like I meet so many people that like it doesn't give me anxiety anymore to meet anyone just because.
Has the internet done this to us? Is that what it is? We're just so used to DMs that when someone's like, hello, we're like, or it's not even the actual like being in front of the person. It's like the anticipation that'll kill me of anything. If I got a show, if I'm like going to hang out with somebody, or if there's something, I'm just like the anticipation. I'm just like, are they still cool? Like, am I going to just say something stupid? Like, I'm just good, right? I look good. I'll just be tripping. Like, so I don't know. I'm just so curious.
It's that imposter syndrome, right? Like, is that part of it? Is that some of the anxiety?
What is that?
Imposter syndrome is when you feel like you shouldn't be where you're at because you're not good enough. Like maybe like that was it for me. Like I've had imposter syndrome for a lot of my life where I'm like, I never really felt like I went through design school. I became a graphic designer. I went and did design at companies. And I never felt like I was that good of a designer. And so it gave me imposter syndrome because I knew there was people out there better than me. And so I think when I found a craft, when I was like, I know there's not many people better at me than podcasting. Like, so therefore I don't really have imposter syndrome anymore. Cause I know like, in a studio setting, like no one's gonna beat this setup. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like I have the
in it.
confidence of that, and I feel like photography is probably like that too. Like, and I mean, I can't really speak on your guys' imposter syndrome or like if you have that too. Do you feel that way?
I have a crazy gratitude, honestly. But when you're old, you just get a gratitude just to be here. But I don't know. Just sit in it. Just sit in it for a second. Just let it happen to you. Okay? It's okay. It's all good. Just let it.
This makes me feel anxious.
Does it?
I'm just joking.
You gotta just live in it for a minute. You just gotta let it like.
That scares me. Living in like awkwardness, like that makes me feel anxiety.
But see, like, it's an invisible thing, right? Like we're just humans sitting here chilling. So like the awkwardness is like it's a man-made, fucking weird thing that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Okay.
I mean, we are living on a floating rock. Who cares?
That's so true.
No, I really do feel like that because I'm just like, we're just like, this is a moment in time. Okay, look, like this is just happening right now. Okay, forget this. Okay. Oh my God. Right? It's all good.
Yep. I totally. Just a moment. Oh man, I really love your way of how you think of things. Like I just like it blows my mind. I just love how like amazing, like
because
like,
man,
how you think is just
we're happy to be here, and that's
no, I love it.
That's it. I mean, I really am. I feel lucky to have you on the podcast, and just that you came here and just like shared what you're doing. And, you know, I'm really interested in like the events that you're going to throw, but also like every month. Now I feel like that's something I didn't know. I didn't know that, like I kind of caught on late to the volumes, right? Like I really, since the show kind of like slowly caught on, which is what everybody that's hasn't already caught on will do, right? When you watch this podcast, they're going to catch up on volume 5, volume 4, volume 6. So now that I know that we have like I have something to look forward to, that every month you're going to have curated a new copy. I think that's special. And I just encourage anybody that's watching this podcast to just check out Kat, check out Philm. You know, let the people know where they can find you.
Honestly, the easiest is like the philm.mag Instagram. It'll just take you to all the links. It's the easiest way.
Okay, perfect. And you can go to the link in the bio if you go to that Instagram and get you a copy right here. Okay, it's beautiful. Support the local people, the models, the musicians, the photographers, Kat for the vision and the editorial work, you know, to make us to let us come home with some physical. That's what we're talking about, okay? You can double tap an Instagram post, but if you can hold it in your hand and be lucky enough for me to get Kat to sign it today, well, then okay. All right, good for you. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you. Anything else you want to tell the people before we go?
I got nothing.
What about you, Brennan?
nothing.
What you got?
No, you should go check out Philm Mag. I love following your stuff. I should like it more because I don't. I do this thing where I'm on Instagram. I look through my entire feed and I don't like anything. And I see your stuff all the time, and it is really cool to see. And I see all your.
Shame on
I
you.
love how you're using how you're using social to like get out there, because it definitely you see it when you get into your algorithm, you start seeing a lot more like it. And I think that's a really cool thing about following you. Is it's like once you follow you, you start. That's when I started seeing the Zeroni stuff. Like I started seeing a lot of local photographers, and like there's definitely like a local scene that's really building. And I think you're a big part of that, because I'm all about like creating the scene that you want to see in Spokane, and like in what you're doing with Philm and like on a local level is really cool to see, especially with being how young you are and how much like you're already doing like this, like to see where you're at right now as a 20-year-old, like I'm excited to see what you're at when you're 30. Because like you're going to be, if I was doing podcasting when I was 20, like I'd be at such a different place, and you're going to be killing it in 10 years. And that's exciting for me as a Spokaneite, as a person that's in this region, like seeing young people that really like are taking over what the arts, like that's what our region needs. It needs more people like you, like just killing it, because like I can say as much as I want to say about killing it. You are doing it, and it's inspiring for me. So
Well, I appreciate
yeah.
that. I really do.
Philm Mag, Kat Vandergriff. Follow on Instagram. Check it out. Appreciate you guys.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here, breathing this fresh air, living my best life, even when the shit ain't fair, even when the love ain't there. Yo, I'm just happy to be here, smoking some good weed, not thinking what could be. I'm just here in the right now, doing me till it's lights out. Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, cause I know that shit could be worse. So what I spit in these verses gon' make some history first.
Show 'em I'm happy to be here, I'm living my best life.
Yo, you living without fear,
You wonder what that's like?
like a breath of some fresh air.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Just sit in it. Just sit in it for a second. Just let it happen to you. Okay? It's okay. It's all good. Just let it.
This makes me feel anxious.
Does it?
I gotta go.